Well, John, obviously, such a gutting result on Saturday, but plenty to be positive about, and I can imagine you just want to look forward on to tomorrow now.
Yeah, we had a look at the game this morning, dealt with everything that we need to deal with, looked at all of the positives and everything that we need to build on for the game tomorrow, and yeah, it was a pretty positive group this morning, as I wanted it to be, based off the back of the weekend. And yeah, we've got no time to rest, no time to feel sorry for ourselves. We're on to a really big game tomorrow night.
Has it given the lads more belief, do you think, going into this sort of next part of the season?
It should have done, yeah. I think the last two games really should have done, competing so well with Burnley in a really, really tight game, and then I think being the better side against Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane should really spur the boys on to just have a bit more belief in themselves and know that we can go and do that away from home as well as at home. It's never really been an issue, confidence at home, particularly over the last 3 or 4 months. So yeah, something that I think we should really look forward to in the last 15 games.
In terms of away performances, it was something that was obviously addressed ahead of the game. So what do you sort of put that, I suppose you could say, turnaround down to?
I think a couple of things, a couple of minor tweaks, but maybe more importantly, after the close of the transfer window, it felt like we had a very, very sort of different group and a stronger group going into some of these games. I know the starting lineup was different to a couple of the previous away games, but it was one that we have rolled with in some of the games where we've lost. But the group in general felt a lot stronger. We had the ability to make those changes from the bench as well, and I think there was just a bit more confidence, particularly after the lads settled into the game and got back into it at 1-1 as well. So loads to take. That's very, very pleasing and very, very positive. We've got to keep going with that. We've got to do that again tomorrow night, and we've got to make sure we take that away form into Saturday as well.
Ultimately, what sort of elements of the performance from Saturday do you want to see at Fratton Park tomorrow against Cardiff?
I think we pressed really well from the front. We looked organised, looked solid, looked a lot more compact than we have been in previous away games. Something that at home we've looked pretty good at, particularly against Burnley last week. So we've got to take more of that into the game as a base in terms of how we need to approach it. And I think the most pleasing thing was the amount of chances we created. So creating chances from different areas, from different players as well, and really making sure that the final improvement really is just to make sure we put the ball in the back of the net. And we're always, not always, we don't want to actively do that, but if you do concede goals at this level, sometimes you come up against really good forward players that can hurt you. We have to make sure that we've given ourselves a bit of a buffer, which on Saturday we certainly should have done.
Obviously a tough night against Cardiff last time we played them at their stadium. How different are things now, do you think?
Yeah, it'll be chalk and cheese in terms of our approach to the game. Cardiff were excellent that night. Shows which how strong they can be when they're on their day, and they've picked up some really good results recently as well. So we have to make sure that we're right on top of it. Our side that we put out, the approach to the game, I think the way we are as a group is going to be completely different, which is really pleasing from my point of view. That was certainly one of the lows of the season so far, to I think come off the back of a really positive away result at QPR, and then go and do what we did on that Tuesday night against Cardiff, which it wasn't good enough. The game ended 2-0, it could have been more, and I think we were lucky to get out of there just with that scoreline. So we've got loads to learn from that, which we have tried to do recently. We've tried to do over the past few months. And a good opportunity to put that right.
They're obviously on a good run of form themselves, on a good win in the FA Cup on Saturday. So what are you expecting from them?
Well, they're a good side, we've seen that firsthand. It's probably a slight surprise to me that they're down there. I think having played them at that point earlier in the season, I expected them to then be comfortably mid-table, particularly with some of the players, with the budget, with certainly the side that we saw that night. It doesn't always work out that way. So they've been up and down, I think, a bit since, but picked up some really good results recently. Take the Leeds game out of it, but at the weekend, an away win at Stoke, having made quite a few changes, getting through into the FA Cup. I think there's definitely lots that we need to be aware of. It's going to be a very, very good tie, very, very tough tie, and we've got to be right on it.
Obviously a rare week off last week with no midweek game, but here we are with another Tuesday game. How did the lads come out of Saturday? Are you expecting to sort of make any changes to the 11?
Yeah, everyone was fine in terms of injuries. It's just the element of making sure that we have fresh bodies around. So there's that potential to rotate, potential to bring players in, particularly with the squad that we've got at the moment. And that's something we're going to be sort of conscious of doing, to make sure we don't. We have plenty of energy and we attack the game from a physical standpoint. But we've also come off the back of a free week, which we didn't have the privilege of doing it at any point during January. So we're just going to mix the two and make sure we get team selection right as possible we can in our eyes.